So good afternoon, students. So today we will take few classes because you are lagging behind in class. So we start with introduction to hematology and collection of blood. So hematology means study of blood. What are the different components of blood? We know there is plasma, the liquid part, and there is also the cellular components. What are the cells? There are three cells. One is RBC or red blood corpuscles. They are maximum in number. Their number is in millions. The next are the platelets or thrombocytes. Their number is in lakhs. And the third one are the WBC or white blood cells. Their number is in thousands. So these three cells and the serum or plasma, that will form the blood. Now 55% of blood is liquid or the plasma, whereas 45% is approximately the cellular component. Now the first lesson of today is blood collection. So how do you collect blood? So for collection of blood, what you need? You need a phlebotomy tray. That means you need a tray for collection of blood from vein. So what are the different types of collection blood that can be collected? There are basically three types. You can collect capillary blood, you can collect venous blood, or you can sometimes collect arterial blood. Capillary blood means you just prick the superficial part of your skin and from there you collect the blood. When you require only few drops of blood, or when the situation is such that you are not getting enough blood, in those cases you go for capillary blood collection. What are the sites of capillary blood collection? If it is an adult, then fingertip, either in the middle finger or in the index finger or in the third finger, ring finger. It is usually lateral to the midline, or you can also collect from the earlobe. And if it is in child, then you can take the blood from the sides of the heel or from the tip of the great toe. So you require a needle or a lancet for this thing. And the most important thing is that before pricking the skin, you must make the area moist and warm. Otherwise there will be less vascular supply, so there will be problem. So for collection of this thing, what you do, you prick with the needle or lancet, and then you discard the first drop of blood and take the free flowing blood. Why you discard the first drop of blood? Because the first drop of blood contains tissue fluid much more. And the important is, do not squeeze. If you squeeze the local part, then more and more tissue fluid will come out and it will also cause dilution. So what is this? Actually the capillary blood, what we collect is a combination of capillary blood, venular blood, arteriolar blood, and also tissue fluid. And the hemoglobin concentration and the cellular concentration will be slightly higher if you collect blood by this method. And the platelet count may be very low, because as a result of injury what you are making at the site, the platelet can be adherent to the surface. Okay. So this is about the collection of capillary blood. Commonly we collect the venular blood. Arterial blood is rarely collected, and that is taken from the either femoral arteries, and in this case what usually for blood gas analysis. and this is rarely done. But what we commonly do is a venous blood, and for this reason we need a phlebotomy tray. What are the things that you must be in a phlebotomy tray? Acha, please tell me what is the site. You have already seen how to collect blood. What is the common site? Common site is the antecubital vein in front of your elbow joint. Why? Because this side is well guarded, the veins are superficial, and the veins will usually do not slip. So for these three reasons, this area is selected. Now you need in a phlebotomy tray a tourniquet. A tourniquet will be applied just above the elbow in order to make the vein taut. The important thing is that a tourniquet should not be at position for more than 2 minutes, and it should not be too tight. And number 3, when you start collecting the blood, you always lose the tourniquet. What other things you require there? You need a disposable syringe and also needle. A needle usually in the range of 19 to 21 gauge for adults and 23 gauge for children are used. And you need spirit, cotton, and also a elastotrip in order to stop the bleeding after the collection of blood. So what you do? You put the tourniquet and you ask the patient to make a fist, so the veins will become prominent. Now you clear with the spirit. Now wait for some time in order to let the spirit dry, otherwise that will also dilute your sample. Then you prick the vein, and in such a way that the beveled end should be looking upwards, and you try to inflict minimum trauma. And once you are sure that you have entered the vein, then you loose the tourniquet and draw blood slowly, and you do not pull the plunger rapidly, because if you pull the plunger rapidly, then your syringe will be filled rapidly with injury to the RBC. So let it fill with its own pace, and then also do not squeeze over the area, and then you collect the required amount of blood, which can be varying from 2 millimeter to 2 mm to 10 milliliter, and then after collection of the blood you take out the syringe and you put a antiseptic gauze, and also you just tell the patient to flex his or her elbow, so that there will be no bleeding. And now the first drop of blood from the syringe you put over a slide, and you make a smear, and then you disconnect the syringe and the needle and put appropriate amount of blood in different containers. And in some containers there is presence of anticoagulant, in some containers there is no anticoagulant. In those containers where anticoagulant is there, so you just thoroughly mix it by moving over the surface. And after this thing, you look at the again injury site, and you see that bleeding has been stopped. If it is stopped, then put a elastostrip and call the patient to remove it just a few hours after. So that is the procedure of collection of blood. Now what are the complications that can arise? Number 1, there can be local introduction of infection, there can be hemorrhage, there can be a local hematoma. So these are the most important thing, and these you must be very much careful, so that if you do the aspiration, if you do the blood drawing with utmost care, you can avoid these things. And the other complications are the sample can be infected, the sample can be hemolyzed, or the sample can be also diluted if you squeeze. So that is also depending upon how you will handle with that sample. Now After aspiration, you should send the blood as quickly as possible to the laboratory, and the most of the tests should be done within 1 to 2 hours of collection of blood. If you keep the blood for a prolonged period, there will be some changes. Okay, so this is all about the first class today, that is the collection of blood. Thank you very much.